got a bit more waffle for you whilst I do this absolute shitload of washing up I've got to do. I need to get a dishwasher for this new house. That is something that we could do with. But yeah, being 30 pounds down, 33 pounds down so far this year, obviously I'm happy with the progress. However, if I'm being critical of myself, I actually don't believe I've executed as well as I could. Now, my intention with a diet, with this diet, was to not get it done as quickly as I can. Ultimately, what the point of this cut is to be looking my best. I'm looking at doing a photo shoot at the end. I'm just trying to improve the physique from last time I cut down. I'll put some shots on screen now of what I got to last time in 2024. Bit of a shame that I didn't really get any good shots of it. I only ever got like some mirror shots and some decent lighting at my old gym. But yeah, the objective is to just beat that and look better than I did last time. Now, I am very, very confident that I will, because getting down into that low level of body fat primed me for the best period of muscle growth that I've ever had since my newbie gains. When you first start training, like you blow up pretty quick. Your body is like hyper responsive to the training stimulus. So that is, to be honest, out of your entire training career, the time when you put the most muscle on relatively is in your newbie stage when you're new to it. But over the last 10 years of training, the best, aside from the newbie gains, the best period of muscle growth I ever had was after that diet, after I got super lean and you get really responsive to nutrients. So I'm very confident that after this cut, we will see the improvements that have been made in terms of muscle growth. I'm at a level of leanness now at a good few pounds heavier than I was last time round. So I'm thinking we've probably added a good, it's hard to say exactly, but anywhere between 2 to 5 pounds of muscle, which doesn't really sound like a lot, but that is, I'm telling you, that is a good amount of muscle to be growing. You can see a big difference even with just 1 extra pound of muscle. But yeah, like I said, it took me quite a while to get here. And that is because the amount of freedom that I have had. I could have got this same amount of weight loss done in probably half the time, but I wanted to kind of move slowly and still enjoy a bunch of freedom around social events. I spent a good month or so basically just maintaining weight. Now that wasn't just maintaining, I did have a planned week at maintenance when I was starting to feel some diet fatigue, when I got just below 200 pounds. But I had a couple of holidays, the World Cup was on. I've had a lot of things where I have not been strict around food and spent some time eating in a surplus, basically. Like literally not really trying to lock into the diet at all. So that has made progress a lot slower than it could have been. But I do think that has benefited to how the cut has gone, because right now, like I said, I have lost a pretty significant amount of weight. I feel sound, to be honest. When you lose a lot of weight, your body's a bit like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to lose all this weight? So it responds by conserving energy, and you feel fatigued, you feel tired, you feel super hungry. Obviously, I have experienced these things along the way, but I think they have been dramatically reduced by me giving myself a lot of time and taking a lot of freedom around food. Not only do them days where you eat more, where you enjoy like a high calorie meal, not only do they fill you back up energy wise in terms of the food that you're getting, but also it helps you like de-stress from it. And that is a big thing that is important in weight loss. A stressed body doesn't respond well to weight loss. It doesn't want to lose weight. It wants to hang on to it. It feels almost like it's being attacked. And when you de-stress and allow yourself to enjoy social events, enjoy higher amounts of food, it gives you like a break from the diet. It makes you feel like you're not constantly dieting, which I think is extremely beneficial for how your body's going to look. However, now we've kind of got to a bit in the summer where I've got nothing left on. We've just had the World Cup, so I spent a good few days drinking and watching that. I went camping and done a bunch of stuff all over the summer where the diet has taken a little bit of a backseat. But now I'm at a point where I've got basically nothing on the calendar really for the rest of the year. It is today, July the 21st. I literally haven't got anything on the calendar until I go to Cornwall first week of September. So now we got a chance to really, really lock in and see what progress we can make. Like I said, I am not really feeling too much fatigue. My hunger is definitely up. Like something that I do notice is that my hunger cravings, my food focus is creeping up a good bit at the moment. But staying on plan with like using a meal plan is helping me stay locked and helping manage that. My acceptance of hunger is a lot better. In that first cut that I did when I got peeled in 2024, like it hit me like a ton of bricks. I didn't know what to expect, and I was just mad hungry, like struggling to deal with the diet fatigue. But the second time round when you do it, you feel so much better, and you feel you are so much more like acceptant of just the cost of doing business of dieting. It's so much better dealing with low energy, feeling hungry. Like it just is what it is. I accept and I know that I'm going to be hungry at times, and I'm just kind of fine with it because I have much more of a structure this time and I know what to expect. It has been a lot smoother. Now I'm not really lean yet. Hard to say exactly, but I would be estimating I'm around 11-ish% body fat, and it's when you start to get to 10 or below that you really start to feel the effects of the diet. So we will be getting there over the next couple of weeks. And it's funny when you start to diet down, right? I think a lot of people don't really understand it or understand why you're doing it. Like a lot of people have like this negative thing about me doing it. People will say like, oh, you know, they can see the difference in my face. I definitely look leaner in my face, and they're almost like they don't want me to do it. They have like a negative response to it. They're like, oh, don't lose any more weight. And I don't know what that comes from. I don't know if that comes from just it doesn't look healthy, but I mean, I am extremely healthy. I eat 5 meals a day of good quality nutritious food, hitting my protein, eating like 6, 7, 8 servings of fruit and veg on some days. Always, do you know what I mean? Fueling correctly. So I'm still healthy, but I think it also comes from when you do stuff, right, that is above average and you're trying to get into a physique or the kind of shape that is above average. People who are average almost like want to be negative around it and drag you down away from it. You know, like the crabs in the bucket thing, where everyone is a crab in the bucket, and when one crab tries to get out the bucket and step up and level up, the rest of the crabs want to drag it down. So I think people like express their pain in being stuck and unable to change and not where they want to be. They express that onto you by being almost like negative about what you're doing and how you're unaveraging yourself. But that is, again, just something that you just got to accept. People will say like, oh, don't you sometimes just wish that you could just like get a takeaway at the weekend? Like, how do you get to the weekend and you're still just eating on plan, like weighing your food? You don't want to get a Chinese, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. People think you're being obsessive about your food and stuff, and it's like, no, I'm just locking in and like using discipline to take myself to new levels of what my body is capable of. I love this shit. I'm interested in this shit. I'm interested in physique development, and getting into sick shape is what I am very passionate about doing for myself and helping other people do. So yes, obviously I would love to get a Chinese at the weekend. Do you know what I mean? When my food focuses up, that is sounding delicious, but you got to have the mindset of that is not in alignment with what I'm trying to do at the moment. That, it sounds like cheesy, but a moment on the lips, forever on the hips. Like, just I don't feel the need to chase that dopamine from food in terms of like a reward system from a long week at work or something, because the objective here is greater than that. And I am trying to be not above someone eating a Chinese at the weekend, but trying to not be that person, because it's not in alignment with what I am trying to do at the moment. So, do I want a Chinese at the weekend? Yes. Am I more than happy to not get a Chinese at the weekend and stay exactly on plan with what I'm doing? I would much prefer that, because the greater goal is in mind. And you get it as well, particularly like from older people who don't understand it. Like, when I started this cut and I was talking to people about being on a diet, they're like, you don't need to go on a diet, you got no fat on you. Well, I've literally dropped 15 kg. Yes, obviously I wasn't a fat person before, but I've literally dropped 15 kg of fat. So there must have been something to come off me, do you know what I mean? People just think, oh, well, you're either fat or out of shape, or you're not, you're in shape. And just because you're like a PT or a fitness professional, that you're in shape. Obviously, when I started this cut, I wasn't out of shape, but I was up around 18 to 20% body fat. No, I don't look like an out of shape person or a fat person, but when your standards for yourself are higher and you know that you're capable of much more, then when that fat comes off, you see a big difference in the physique there. So yeah, like I said, I am not done yet. I'm, as of today, 194.6 pounds. My highest weigh-in of the year was 227.2 pounds. So yeah, just under 33 pounds. But and the lowest weight that I got to in my last cut was like 183. So that's 10 pounds away from where I am now. But as I said, I've definitely got a bit more muscle to show for it. But I think, I mean, I can definitely get more conditioned. If I look at the shots from the last diet, I did look peeled in the upper body, but there was definitely a lot more that could come off in the legs, in the low back, which is generally where men like hold it a little bit more. I've got a bit of a weird fat distribution. Some would say favourable, that I don't really hold a lot of fat on my abdomen, but I hold quite a lot on my legs. Now some would love that because it makes you look shredded at higher percentage of the body fat. Like my abs look pretty dialed in already, but I've still got a ton of fat on my legs. I've not got any striation in my quad yet. So that would be favourable for some, but for me, my legs are probably actually my strongest body part. So to be honest, would I actually switch some of that fat distribution so that less was on the abs, more was on, no, sorry, less was on the quads, more was on the abs. Yes, I would. Just so my legs come through a bit better. But we're going to get sick looking quads this year. I am very confident of it. So, yeah.